Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. Great to have you along today, 11:13 a.m. on Monday, March the 31st, with the big blue mug of coffee.
Paul Chang, one of your candidates in Markham, talked about turning over a Conservative candidate to the Chinese consulate to receive a bounty placed on him by the Chinese Communist Party. Can you explain why you've not dropped him as a Liberal candidate?
Thank you for the question. Look, the comments were deeply offensive. This is a terrible lapse of judgment by Mr. Chang. He has apologized for those comments. He has apologized directly now to the person that he mentioned. Apologized directly to him yesterday. I've spoken to Mr. Chang as well over the course of the weekend to understand his position. He is a veteran policeman. Mr. Chang is a veteran policeman with more than a quarter century of service to his community. 28 years of defending rights in this community, and he will continue with his candidacy going forward, having made those apologies very clearly to the individual, to the community, and moving forward to serve.
Liberal leader Mark Carney. Prime Minister Mark Carney, the guy who wants to be elected on April the 28th, Mark Carney, just said he is standing behind Liberal MP incumbent Paul Chang in Markham Unionville after Mr. Chang suggested that Conservative candidate Joe Tay be turned over to the Communist Chinese consulate for a bounty. Kudos to the journalists. I'm going to show you more of that video in just a moment. They grilled him on this, and that he should be grilled for the next month over this, the whole month. There's a very telling moment in the video, which you haven't seen so far. I'm going to play it for you. It's just a split second, but oh my God, Carney knows he's in deep with this one. Now, people are upset at what he's done here. Poilievre came out with a weak-kneed response, which I'll show you in just a moment. But I think this is great. I think this is freaking awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an election to win. And as ridiculous as this seems, Mark Carney made a huge mistake here. This is a good thing. This is known as a Bozo Eruption in Canadian politics. And for those of you who don't know what a Bozo Eruption is, here it is on the screen. Canada slang, a usually unscripted remark by a politician or other public figure, which is especially ill-considered and foolish, and which has negative repercussions for that individual and their affiliated group. Synonym, gaff. So this is a huge gaff by Mark Carney. Now, generally, a Bozo Eruption happens by a Conservative. And they might float out the word abortion in the middle of an election campaign, which the Liberals run with for weeks, and they need to run with this for weeks. Joe Tay, the Conservative candidate, is scared for his freaking life. And now, there's a moment in this video where Carney knows he's in deep with this. So watch this. It's only a split second, but here it is right here.
Was speaking with the RCMP about his safety. So I'm just wondering why you feel comfortable continuing with a candidate that was parroting Chinese Communist Party talking points to try and attack a political candidate.
Look, this is a person of integrity who's served this community.
Great job with the journalist here. He says parroting Chinese communist talking points, and you can see the grin on Carney's face, and he twists a little bit. Very uncomfortable with this right now. Here it is again on the screen. You can see him doing it here. He does not want to answer these questions. I don't think he wanted to do this. There's something going on here. What has Chang got on Carney? What has Chang got on the Liberal Party of Canada? Pierre Poilievre has weighed in on this. I think he needs to be more forceful, but he gets to the point here and he uses a word that I've not heard out of his mouth, and he should have been saying it all along. Here it is on X. Mark Carney is keeping a Liberal candidate who called for his Conservative opponent to be handed over to the Chinese government for a $1 million bounty, the same government that just executed 4 Canadians. Carney's company owes $250 million to a Chinese state bank. He is compromised. Yes. If he won't stand up for a Canadian against threats to his life, how can he ever stand up for Canada? Yes. There was another moment in there when Carney sighed a little bit. I'm not going to show you the whole video.
What message are you sending to Canadians who are worried about pressure from China when you allow him to stay on?
It goes on for 5.5 minutes. But Carney needs to be dogged to the end of this election with this issue. This is a bozo eruption of all bozo eruptions. He actually goes on to say that this is a teachable moment for Mr. Chang. A teachable moment. Do you know what a teachable moment is? A teachable moment is when you give the keys to your car to your son on a winter day. He goes into a parking lot and does donuts and hits a power pole. That's a teachable moment. I don't know how this isn't criminal. And Chang apparently is a cop. I don't know why he's not in jail. Is this not criminal? To put a bounty on somebody's head? You think it is. This is a bozo eruption of bozo eruptions, folks. This is huge. And I think eventually Chang has to go, or Carney just can't be elected, because he's protecting a man who has basically threatened the life of a conservative candidate. Mr. Tay is scared for his life. And I understand why. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up for the video. I appreciate it. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel. We're working our way towards 25,000. Ring the bell for notifications. I ask a lot, I know. And I'll see you in the next one.